Butterfly clicking has taken the Minecraft community by storm, helping with PvP, bridging, and so much more. The method can be very overpowered and get you an insane amount of clicks per second, but in today's video, I'd like to explain to you why I think you should stop butterfly clicking. This video isn't really me discouraging butterfly clicking, instead it's more of an explanation to why other clicking methods are a lot more valuable. And before we get into the video, I'd really just like to say thank you so much for all the support on the channel recently. It's been absolutely amazing and we're getting really close to 5,000, so if you'd like to help out, the subscribe button is right down below. But with that being said, let's get into it. At this point, butterfly clicking is basically the staple clicking method for getting 20 CPS or more. Newer players often get around 10 to 12 CPS, but with some experience you'll be able to get to around 20, and the reason that high CPS is so useful is because it allows you to take less and less knockback the higher CPS you click. Also, just having a lot of clicks per second means you're more often going to get the first hit against your opponent in a fight. Both of these combined leave you with a very good PvP advantage, so why exactly would you want to stop butterfly clicking? Well, there's a few reasons, but the main one is aim. Lower CPS clicking methods such as normal clicking can allow you to have a lot more control over your mouse, as when you're clicking very slowly, your hand has to do a lot less and therefore you can keep the mouse more still or controlled. Butterfly clicking, however, is a lot harder to control, especially for people with smaller hands because you can't hold the mouse as well as you'd like to, and when you start clicking like crazy, the mouse starts to move side to side unexpectedly. Your aim being a little offset and shaky at times will allow good players to capitalize and have better aim than you, meaning they are more likely to get big combo locks on you. The thing about butterfly clicking is the raw CPS you get from it allows you to go from being a bad player to a decent or even slightly good player. There does become a point, however, where CPS is not the most important factor, and good players will be able to capitalize on your mistakes by strafing, block hitting, W tapping, and so much more. My main point I'm getting at here is that if you are going to use butterfly clicking for PvP, make sure you're also practicing other techniques to help you improve overall as a player, and not just get a ton of CPS. If you're looking for a great place to improve your PvP, I suggest going to pvp.land where you can practice on different levels of robots, and work your way up to the most difficult ones as you improve over time. There's also a lot less stress when you're fighting a robot as opposed to a person, and you can practice your combos and everything else, and improve on them as much as you'd like. The second main reason I have for you to stop butterfly clicking is the fact that you might get banned. Okay, when I'm talking about Hypixel, probably not, but on a lot of other servers such as mymed.club, lunar.gg, and more, butterfly clicking runs you the risk of getting banned, and even though it doesn't happen to people very often, if you do get banned for it, you're probably not going to get a lot of sympathy with your ban appeal. And on top of this, a lot of players on more competitive servers such as MyMen or Lunar tend to disapprove of butterfly clickers in general, as someone that butterfly clicks 20 CPS or more tends to resemble a lot of the traits of an auto clicker, and they're not very fun to fight, honestly. Obviously, even though people dislike it, a lot of players are still going to butterfly click because it is very powerful and useful. Last point I want to bring up before I talk about butterfly clicking for bridging is how much you improve. Now this sounds very broad, so what exactly do I mean by it? Something like butterfly clicking tends to instantly improve the skill a player has, instead of being something they have to learn to improve at over time. When you learn something like butterfly clicking, it's easy to see how fast you've improved, and just start to kind of ignore the improvement that you would normally make over time. I think my main conclusion for PvP here is that if you're going to butterfly click, make sure you're practicing other things, and try to push yourself to learn more than just how to get a bunch of clicks per second. And now bridging. Bridging is obviously something that's become a lot more popular in the past year or so, and butterfly clicking really just doesn't cut it anymore. You kind of go from methods like speed bridge and jitter bridge where you can do normal or jitter clicking, immediately up to things like breezily, moonwalk, and gob bridge, and even tele bridging where you're always going to need drag clicking. Okay, maybe always is a bit of an overstatement, but for the most part, drag clicking is the best way to go about learning these bridging methods, and trying to learn them with something like butterfly clicking takes a lot longer. My point here being that if you do want to learn some more advanced bridging methods, it's better to switch off of butterfly clicking before you even start learning these methods, because otherwise you're going to be spending a lot of extra time for no real reason. Butterfly clicking just also doesn't really give the same advantages for bridging as it does for PvP. Learning advanced bridging methods with butterfly clicking is really just a matter of timing as opposed to raw CPS, and for that reason it's almost like learning a whole new clicking method entirely because you're not spamming and instead you're just trying to practice your timing. Spam butterfly clicking will really only teach you how to do things like jitter bridging and maybe diagonal gob bridge if you can click 20 CPS consistently, which is really hard to do. Overall, I really do believe that butterfly clicking is a disadvantage for PvP because once players learn how to do it, they stop improving. Or at least a lot of them do. For bridging, I do think that butterfly clicking does have its uses, but it's really not that helpful because if you know how to drag click, that'll be better in every single way. And honestly, it might take you a week to learn at most, so it's definitely worth it. With that being said, I'm not trying to hate on butterfly clicking. I know it's very useful and a lot of people love to do it, and even myself, I like to use it every once in a while. I'm really interested to hear what you guys think though, because a lot of players really do just love to butterfly click for absolutely everything, and honestly, it's a lot of fun, I can't lie, but some people seem to really dislike when people disagree with that. All in all, it's definitely a very interesting conversation, and one that's probably going to change over time. With that being said, I really do hope you guys enjoyed the commentary today, and if you'd like to see more in the future, make sure you do subscribe. It's right down below, and we're getting really close to 5,000, which is crazy to me. But with that being said, I really do hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys soon. Goodbye.